Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, I did not expect that we were going to be doing a stream where I would be reacting to an Ashton Forbes video, but here we are. You know, I'm usually I try to be above this kind of thing. But it was just so absurdly funny to me that I had to do this, because there's another one I wanted to take a look at. Let me pull it up really quick. What was it? It was the not the debunking the false claims one. It's from his lives. It's the I believe it's this one right here. This was the other one. So this one was streamed 3 days ago. So this is, I believe, I think it is. I'll have to check and make sure I have the text from Aiden. But this is let me take a look really quick and make sure I have the right one. Yeah, all evidence, space preparation, and Alex Jones debrief. So that's this one. And then the other one is well, it's him during our live stream after he popped in. For anybody who was not there on Sunday, Ashton, I guess, got wind that we were talking about MH370, which we had told him we were going to be doing. Hopped in and made the assumption out of nowhere that we were, for some reason, targeting him. The stream was not about him. The stream had very little to do with him. We were just talking about the thermal videos, and because he's the guy hawking the thermal videos, obviously we were going to talk about him, but it's not like he was the point of the stream. He had also been invited to come back. I'm happy to show those Twitter messages if I need to, but he had been invited to come back on the show. So, also thank you, Jacket, for becoming a member. But yeah, so I'm I'm sitting there after the show, and I find out that he's doing this. I go to look at it, and it's, you know, it's very clear that he's just a little got his panties in a twist. You know, he's in a bit of a tizzy. Amanda finds out that, or it might have been Aiden, but a few days earlier, he had done a stream where he reacted partially to part 2 of our MH370 series. And my favorite thing is that he just skips around. So I want to show you guys in real time what not to do on YouTube if you're doing reaction stuff, because this was utterly hilarious. But here we go. Should be able to hear everything. Let me make sure that this is set to the right. Yep, it is. Okay. So we got skip ahead a little bit. Where is he actually? Here we go. Come on. Ah, here we go. Okay, so first of all, he does not understand how YouTube monetization or copyright works. Did he really write a version of, I didn't see this part. I guess he wrote a version of Stan about Lex Friedman, which is its own kind of weird. But yeah, let's see if we can catch the part where he's reacting to our stuff, because it was somewhere early in the video. Aiden showed it to me the other day, but he was the one who actually had it. So let me see if I can find it. Okay, this, I will admit this is a little ironic, because I was just saying don't do what I'm currently doing. But I know he talked about it. Let me see if... Did I pull a silly? Did I grab the wrong video? It was in this one, right, Amanda?
No, it's the other one. It's the one that he streamed on the second.
Oh, this is the first. That's why I'm confused. See, this is why she's so important. Wait, which one was the one he streamed on the second? The one where he reacted to our part 2, or the... Gotcha. Yeah, that's this one right here. The 2-3 one, right? Yeah. So, here we go.
Because Sunday was the 3rd, so he talks about you in the very beginning is when he talks about you. It's like in the very beginning.
But not of the Sunday one, of the one Aiden had.
Oh, that was...
Let me see. Yeah, it's yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It is it's the 12-1 one.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I not able to find this? Did he cut it out? Ella, I'm gonna need you to calm down, bud. I'm just trying to figure out. Here, I'm gonna call Aiden really quick.
No, here, I can just find it for you.
Well, I'll go ahead and try, but I just want to call Aiden really quick because he might know exactly where it was in the video. This is my bad. I will admit this. Hey, where in the Ashton Forbes video was his response to us? Like, how far in? The last 10 minutes of the stream from the first? All right, Ella. Oh my God.
They would have.
No, I know. I'm not yelling at you. Just like she needs to relax, man. Okay, yeah, here it is. All right, thank you. Sorry about that.
It's not playtime.
All right, I will talk to you soon.
Sounds good. See you, bro.
All right, bye.
Come here.
Okay. Here we go. All right. Ella! Oh my God! I know. It's just like... Okay, here we go. Why is he just chewing?
So, yeah. Keep coming.
Right, here we go. Scroll through.
Instagram, guys. I think this is
Just gonna keep going.
that's where here too is.
This is way too much eating on stream. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm about to dig into a bowl of spaghetti, but I'm not gonna chew right into the microphone. Also, if you're kind of like, Aiden, you're stooping to his level, this is so low, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, a little bit, but if he's gonna do this for content, then I'm gonna do this for content too. So, you know, it is what it is.
50,000 views. Okay, what kind of bullshit are they trying to?
Yeah, here we go. So keep in mind, at this point, I had informed him that this video was going up. I told him what our conclusions were. I told him what we had focused on. He knew everything about it. He was well aware the video existed and that it was going to be up. It is not mom's spaghetti. It is, in fact, my spaghetti. I made this spaghetti. Well, Amanda helped with the spaghetti as well. I made the sauce. She made the spaghetti. All right. But yeah, so just to give you guys... I'm not stooping to his level. I'm just going to respond to a few things before we move on. Because there's just some blatant stuff in here that I think is funny. I think it's funny. So here's what we're doing.
50,000 views.
Again, remember, he knew this video was going up way ahead of time.
Okay, what kind of bullshit are they trying to say?
And he had not reacted that way when we had the conversation. He's also just reading through. Like, let's see. Let's bump this up a little bit.
How long is this? I mean, it's an hour and 15 minutes.
I would not have planned to do part 2. It completely fallen apart. More than 70% of Muslim Malaysian women. So here's what I want to point out. He knew this video was up. He had time to go watch this video before the stream he did. He could have reacted to the video already having seen it. Instead, rather than watching it on 2x speed, rather than kind of clicking through a minute at a time, he just kind of jumps around several minutes at a time between chapters. And here's what we get out of it. Believe that men have a right to have multiple wives, though points in the actual year of the event. This even appears to possibly...
Okay, first of all, this is total nonsense. Okay, anyone promoting this, like, I know Lore Lodge for some reason thinks this is... I can't believe Lore Lodge thinks this is legit, but...
Did you guys catch that? Those of you who watched last Friday's video, did you just catch that? The actual year of the event. This
even appears to possibly... Okay, first of all, this is total nonsense.
He didn't even let me finish talking before he cut it off. Did not let me finish the sentence before he cut me off.
Okay, anyone promoting this, like, I know Lore Lodge for some reason thinks this is... I can't believe Lore Lodge thinks this is legit.
Anybody who watched last Friday's video should be aware of the fact that we said it is entirely possible that this is just the result of artifacting from upscaling the images, and that we were not taking Cindy Hendry at her word, and that we were skeptical about these images. We feel like she lied about where she found them in the first place, and the only reason we're willing to take them a little bit seriously is the report from the Cathay Pacific pilots. He did not watch the video. He's doing almost precisely the same thing that Mind Unveiled did when he tried to make a response to us, except Ashton's actually worse at it.
But no offense to Aiden, but the scale doesn't even match here, man. How could you think that this scale here on the right matches this satellite picture on the left? We're not looking at an M here from Malaysian Airlines, guys. This is legit just nonsense. Total nonsense. This is from Cindy. I've talked to her. She's out there, man. She's out there.
I've also talked to her. She's not particularly out there. She's just a little bit self-important.
The plane didn't crash in South China Sea. The problem with Aiden is Aiden's like 20 years old, and he was like a little kid when this stuff happened. No offense.
So, I can't possibly be right. First of all, Ashton knows damn well that I'm 26. But I can't possibly know what I'm talking about because I was only 16 when this happened. I was 16, guys. That's not a little kid. I remember the whole thing. I didn't pay a ton of attention to it, because what the hell was I going to do about it? But I was not a child.
Offense to him, but like
he also keeps saying no offense and then saying offensive things. Not that I give a shit. I don't particularly care. I'm not bothered. I just wanted to point out how hilarious this video is.
He's getting the information from like what we have on the internet now, which is tainting the view.
Oh, so when you have all of the facts available, you're tainting the view.
As we know, another pilot did say he established contact with MH370.
He does have that evidence, correct?
First officer technology from reaching China, or to
wait, is there a dog? Did I see a dog?
That it was Blackstone.
Oh my goodness!
Ashton stuff in October of 2023, which is actually what spurred
Star Wars
in the first place. I also invited him onto the podcast to talk about it, and he kindly accepted. And that is the November 19th, 2023 episode.
As he's going through this, insulting me and calling us little kids, and you know, saying I can't believe they believe this stuff, I'm in the background as he is silent, basically complimenting him, being like, he came on, he was willing to have a conversation, we were grateful for it. Like, I'm sitting here doing that, you know?
He's got a cute dog, though.
Ashton's profile has been online since the person on that flight. As for the satellite...
So let's go to a spot that looked kind of similar to the
okay,
video.
so first of all, this...
He then jumps into a random part of Thornbury's demonstration, does not even bother to check and see what Aiden was even saying or talking about.
This is not how this works at all.
The ironic part is he knows nothing about VFX. He has made that abundantly clear, and yet he's like, that's not how this works at all. Aiden knows what he's doing. Aiden knows what he's talking about. Ashton does not.
So this is going to be important later. This is how you control effects in editing software. You can put in specific inputs of numbers. So if I put in 1400? Yeah, 1400 instead of that, I can. But generally, people are going to be using sliders like this. You can make minor adjustments there. Anyway, so that looks somewhat similar.
It doesn't look anything like our video.
But let's
doesn't look anything like our video, he says, while not listening to a thing Aiden's saying.
try. So again, that has been around since.
This also doesn't look anything like our video.
Changed very much since then. So we're going to go
You're right, because he picked the frame that doesn't look anything like the video.
keying. Let's go to
This special effect was literally remastered in 2015.
color key, because that's what I remember doing back.
Now he's just making things up. Like, sure, there was probably a remastered version released in 2015. That doesn't mean it's not on a disc from the 90s, too.
Change the color tolerance slightly, so that way.
This is obviously not the same effect at all. Doesn't match at all.
One more step, and then I'll.
Hasn't even gotten to the part. Did not watch, did not check.
Then I'll discuss a little further. So obviously, this is the wrong color. That doesn't match properly.
It's not just the wrong
So
color,
how
but
do
it's
we
not the right
get that
shape.
to match if we wanted that to match?
Any of you have watched the video from Friday know that this is unequivocally the right shape.
Let's take a look. So I
Doesn't even match on the border.
Do this is color correction, and then
How are people like actually this delusional about this VFX nonsense?
You know what? I don't feel like dealing with, because if we do
Still not even close,
color balance,
right?
as
Still
we
doesn't match
call
along the
this,
edge.
and
Still
you know
doesn't
what?
match in the middle at
I don't
all.
feel like dealing with that amount of time. So
Let's see what else he does.
happened, part of it black, so that's
I'm
gray
curious.
now.
This is at. I mean, It's just so funny.
Let's go. It looks like there's a little red in there, so let's go like a dark red.
And here's so just
Boom. Notice. Here's the big part. This little guy right here. See that? That little dot? That was the biggest thing for me with this.
So that's
I'm
gray
curious.
now. Let's go. It looks like there's a little red in there, so let's go like a dark.
Watch it. It's gone.
and here's so just real quick, guys.
And
Just here, real quick, guys. Not only does it not match, but you don't have the luxury of comparing it like this. This is not a situation where you have something that you can do what he's doing right now. The
What is he talking about?
person that would have created this would have had to do it blind.
That. What is he even saying here?
With nothing to compare it to.
The sheer lack of logic in what you're seeing right now is hilarious. Well, the VFX artist who created it, the hoaxer who created it, can't possibly have matched the asset. It's assuming he was creating it from scratch. He clearly used the asset.
They would have had to randomly convert it into this.
Tay, you're not the only person who's confused. His logic makes no sense. What he is saying right now does not make sense.
Remember when I make the argument that it's like monkeys typing on a typewriter and pulling up Shakespeare? That's the situation here.
No, it's not the situation here. It's the precise opposite of the situation here.
And it still doesn't match. What they've done is he's blacked it. So you now just you can't tell that it doesn't match. But
Like, yeah, he blacked it because whoever made the video did the same thing. I do not understand how he does not understand, how he doesn't get this.
But the effect that's behind the screen, the only reason why it looks similar now is because he's overlaid it over the real one.
Like, the reason it looks similar is because it's the same asset, and Aiden did the same thing.
the red up.
If you were to slide them apart now, you'd realize that they don't look anything alike.
Let's get a little closer.
The best part is that Aiden actually does slide them apart.
So let's
And what he's doing right now, while he's trying to get it to match, you would not have had the benefit to do this. Again, it's an original work. It's not something.
It's not an original work. He's also sitting here, like, basically admitting that it's a hoax.
Where you're copying the Mona
a
Lisa.
little bit maybe.
Like, how do people not understand this?
Oh, yep. Now we're getting a little closer. So
If it's a real video, the likelihood that you would get even a single frame that matches is so astronomically low. So I guess that doesn't make sense. But point is, if this video were real, if this were a real video taken by an MQ-1C predator of an actual event in which this happens, there is not a snowball's chance in hell that you would be able to find an asset that matches it. It simply would not happen unless the asset was itself designed based off of the original video. He has the order of operations here entirely reversed.
So
And then here, so here's my favorite part. Ready?
You would not have had the benefit to do this. Again,
and then so let's
and what he's doing right now, while he's trying to get it to match, you would not have had the benefit to do this. Again, it's an original work. It's not something where you're copying the Mona Lisa.
a little bit maybe.
Like, how do people not understand this?
Oh, yep. Now we're getting a little closer. So
Remember when he said, if you dragged it, it wouldn't match?
oh yeah. Okay. So let's see. So that's a little fighters and
Okay.
You know you always get a fair deal on wheels.
Was that a Daily Wire ad over our video? That is a Daily Wire ad over our video. Huh.
Okay.
I knew Ashton was conservative based off of the way he talked.
You know you always get a fair deal
And I'm not saying that as a negative thing. It was just like, oh, okay, this guy's a Republican.
on wheels.
and you patterns to show it here. Obviously, I could really spend a lot more time and get a lot closer, but the point I'm trying to make is
You can tell very obviously as you look at this. There's no question. There is no question. This is the same asset. It appears to have been rotated slightly. It's not up for debate. This matches 99% after Aiden messed with like 4 sliders.
Is that asset's pretty easy to switch to this.
It's
So there's
pretty
one
easy to
more
switch
thing
to
that
this.
did it on their own.
He didn't even
It's
get
really
close.
He didn't even get
that easy to switch.
He didn't even get close. He didn't even get close. It's nearly identical.
Switch to this.
It's
So there's
pretty
one
easy to
more
switch
thing
to
that
this.
did it on their own.
He didn't even get
It's really
close.
recognize that
He didn't even get
the
close,
only
and he
way
just
to
spent how
pixel
long?
match is if you knew the exact
5 minutes.
inputs and the exact.
If you knew the exact inputs, guys, the point is we don't know the exact inputs. The person that created this wasn't comparing it to anything. They would have had to make it originally. Like, these VFX arguments are so stupid.
I just, like... He keeps saying the artist would have had to make it originally. Why? Like, why? No, they wouldn't have. They would not have had to make it originally. They clearly used this asset. You have to do so much mental gymnastics to avoid the fact that Aiden is simply correct here. Like, it is not up for debate. This is the same asset. In the video, Aiden even shows them exploding. It's like 5 frames total. But the point is, that asset is obviously the same thing. I really can't even, like, I'm struggling. I'm trying to work my way through his logic here, and I cannot do it. I cannot wrap my head around the argument that the original video has to have been created from scratch. There's no possible way they could have used the asset. No, if the asset matches, and the asset has existed since the 90s, chances are the asset was used, or the video itself was modeled off of the asset. There is no reason to make the claim that the thermal video has to be created entirely from scratch. That is not... There's nothing there.
That asset's pretty easy to switch to this.
It's
So there's
pretty
one
easy to
more
switch
thing
to
that
this.
did it on their own.
He didn't even
It's
get
really
close.
recognize that
He didn't even get
the
close,
only
and he
way
just
to
spent how
pixel
long?
match is if you knew the exact inputs and the exact.
If you knew the exact inputs, guys, the point is we don't know the exact inputs. The person that created this wasn't comparing it to anything. They would have had to make it originally.
But they wouldn't have.
Like, these VFX arguments are so stupid.
It's just... Like, you see why I had to kind of stoop to the level a little bit?
It's just like, can people just think for
They're
themselves?
both measuring infrared radiation.
Also, like, he keeps saying throughout this video, the original video, the hoaxer, would have had to do this, would have had to do this. It's like, yeah, it's a hoax, as you have figured out. Like, in order to prove Aiden wrong here, he has repeatedly said that it has to have been created from scratch. Like, there is no logical connection. He simply is speaking with confidence and saying things that make 0 sense.
So they are both thermal cameras. Now, I'm going to bring this back here from where I cut it previously. Yeah, so here, the big thing about this one on the left is that this is a cold signature. That this is, black is cold, and, obviously the plane being green, yellow, and then even near the engines red, hot. This is cold. And the whole idea is that this is some form of endothermic event. It's a cold event. The plane is white in this one, just like in some of the other elements that we saw prior, just like these hot roofs, just like this very hot exhaust stack. That is white. So is that
Also, my guy, noise suppressor. Noise suppressor on your microphone.
flash. And so are the clouds, which would indicate that that's hot based on how IR technology works. Why, on 2 thermal
Yeah,
cameras,
we
two
stopped teaching
infrared
critical thinking.
cameras, are we getting the opposite reading?
We stopped teaching critical thinking, he says, as he completely ignores the logic of what Aiden is saying, which is, if in this video, because here's the thing, in the video on the right, the clouds are white, the plane is white, which means that white has to be the temperature of the clouds in the plane. If it is a thermal video, if it's an IR video, whatever. In this video, the clouds are reflecting sunlight, so they're going to be warmer than the background, the water. The plane is reflecting sunlight, so it's going to be warmer than the background, the water. The wormhole in this video on the right is white. So we have white is hot in this video, and all 3 things, plane, clouds, the wormhole are white. In this video on the left, the plane is hot, but the portal is cold. Therefore, if one of these videos is in fact real, the other, by necessity, is fake. If one video shows that the plane and the portal are different colors, and the other video shows that the plane and the portal are the same color, one video must be fake. It is that simple. It is flat out, it's done. One of these videos, at the very least, is fake. Now, what I think Ashton would be smart to do, but I think he probably lacks the capability to think this way, is if he really wants to stick with this, he should abandon this video and say, you know what? That's probably a hoax that was created after this one was by somebody who was looking for clout, possibly Regicide Anon himself. Alternatively, you could say that this video's fake and this one's real, but that's kind of a stupid thing to do because, you know, Aiden matched the asset. So if you wanted to make the actual argument that one of these videos is real, because again, they can't both be because it's impossible. It is just straight up impossible that the plane and the portal are the same heat signature in one, but entirely opposite heat signatures in the other. I would abandon the video on the left and say the one on the right's the real one. And the one on the left was a recreation to try and either force people to believe that the first one was real, because they wouldn't, or that it was somebody trying to hop on the bandwagon. My guess is that if either of these videos are real, it is absolutely this one right here. This one is fake. It is 100% fake. That's not a question. It is fake. There are way too many things about it that are very clearly that just impossible. One of which is the speed at which the MQ-1C is traveling, and the fact that, so far as I can tell, it was completely out of range of any ground stations. I did see somebody say that it works via satellite. Again, I was kind of confused by all of that. But yeah, so this video, if any video is real, it's this one. What Ashton should be doing at this point, now that this one is proven to be fake, and what I in fact advised him to do privately, was if you are confronted with something that proves you are incorrect, change your approach. Accept it and look for an alternate explanation to support your hypothesis. If one does not exist, you are simply wrong. He should drop this video and start focusing on proving that this one is real. If he can do that, he actually has a leg to stand on. The problem is, I don't think he's intelligent enough to do so.
Why are we getting the opposite reading? Because this is a false color IR from the Sibber system, which does not depend on the thermal reading of it.
And now he's just making things up.
This is a IR camera that has a thermal layer over the top.
IR camera that has a thermal layer over the top is not a thing.
They're not comparable.
They are comparable.
That's the reason. This one is measuring something different. It's not measuring the thermal differences. That this has to be explained to people over and over again kind of blows
It has to be explained to people over and over again because he's not saying things that are true.
me away.
He's wrong. He simply cannot understand that he's wrong.
This is hot.
Like, here's the thing. I'll be honest. I think Ashton is 100% serious. I think he is legit. I think he is a true believer in everything he's saying. He's just very obviously incorrect and lacks the intelligence to understand that and conceptualize. And I am not afraid to say that because he called both of us stupid. So if you're going to come onto my space, if I'm going to invite you onto my show, I'm going to give you a platform, I'm going to treat you respectfully, and then even in my criticism of you, I'm going to avoid calling you a liar. And you're going to take my stuff up and use it for your content and call me stupid while you do it. I'm going to come back and I'm going to explain that you're in fact a moron. I'm not afraid to do that. Like, I am very confident in my position because I did a lot of research. I guarantee you, Aiden and I did more work than Ashton in this entire time. Because here's the thing. I've been looking through Ashton's stuff. Everything Ashton has been fed to him by somebody, somewhere. He found very little of it himself. Either it was something that was already viral and he went and talked about it, or he found it somewhere. Or sorry, either it was already viral and he ended up talking about it, or somebody sent it to him. So it's just like, you know, I sit here and I'm like, this is just kind of pathetic. You know, so I'm not angry, honestly. I think it's comical. You know, the only person I'm angry at is myself. Because I should have done my due diligence and I should have never invited the guy on. Or at least had I invited him on, you know, basically I treated him nicely because I was under the impression that he was an honest, genuine guy who was just searching for the truth. He's made it abundantly clear that that's not the case, and so now it's kind of gloves off. Also, when you go and you block me on social media afterwards, he's made it very clear that he's not interested in being proven wrong. He's not interested in actual debate or discussion. All Ashton wants is to be right. It doesn't matter if he's correct. He just wants to be right. I had somebody reach out to me earlier today, actually, to ask if I'd be willing to go on a debate show with Ashton, and I have to respond and be like, yeah, absolutely. I just don't believe he would do it. And part of the reason is, you know, here, we'll finish this out.
It doesn't make sense, guys. Well, it kind of does make perfect sense.
Yeah, all right, I'll check the super chats really quick. Hang on. Okay, what do we got? We have one from Kellen who said, is it Mom's Spaghetti? It is. I answered that one. Pumpkin Bear said, what are the dog's favorite types of dog toys? Well, Ella likes ropes. Archie really likes socks, but not socks that you have designated as his socks. No. Archie wants my socks or Amanda's socks. If I give him socks of his own, he has zero interest. And the problem is, Ella has now decided that she too is a big fan of socks. So our socks are just kind of going missing. But yeah, they're both big on socks or rope toys. That is their preferred. Vulcar for 10, thank you, said, hey Aiden, much love from the UK. Thanks for all the amazing content. It's always the highlight of my week. Had a rough day, but I'm glad to be able to catch my first stream of yours. Oh, thank you. UK big cat video. Ooh, I could definitely look into that one. You know who I would be a good collab with that is Ryan, History Daddy. I'm sure he would be all for it. Bro, there are better conservative hills to die on. Why can't Ashton be a cooler conservative or at least funny? Yeah, right? What do we have here? On a scale of mind unveiled to momlennial, where are we? Also sent a pic of a very festive pupper to brighten your day and Amanda's day. Also 2 new lazy videos, by the way. Yes, we are going to hit one of the new lazy videos. And I will take a look at the festive pupper. I don't know that you can do on a scale of mind unveiled to momlennial. They're kind of in the same camp. But like Andreas Zertis, who we had on the show to talk about Tartaria like 6 months ago. I would put him as being like the reasonable end of the conspiracy spectrum. I'm trying to fix my angle of my camera here. I would put him as the reasonable end of the conspiracy theory spectrum. Momlennial, Ashton, or Momlennial and Mind Unveiled, I would put off the deep end. Ashton, in my opinion, is much more on the Andreas side, because he's not irrational. He's just an idiot. That's the difference. And here's the problem, is stupid people don't know they're stupid. He's really, the definition of, this is the definition of a midwit. It's somebody who knows enough to not be an idiot, but does not know enough to know that they don't know things. This is where he should be sitting back and saying, basically every single thing I've said has been countered to this point. Maybe I'm wrong. There's only 2 people who, when confronted with evidence that they are definitely incorrect, dig their heels in. There's people who are unintelligent and unable to comprehend that they are wrong, and there are people who are grifting. In my opinion, and in a weird way, this is a compliment. I just think Ashton is not that bright. That's where I'm netting out with it. And I know I'm being a little mean, but like the guy called both of us stupid, called us kids. I know it's stupid to his level, but at a certain point, you know, I just got to call it what it is. I can be as cordial as you want. I have been. But you know, I'm sitting here and I'm watching him repeatedly insult my editor and one of my best friends, while he himself clearly has no idea what he's talking about. So
They're not both thermal. That's the simple.
oh God, they're not both thermal. It doesn't matter that one is thermal and the other is quote unquote not thermal. The heat signatures don't match. Also, if you're telling me that this one is, you know, a recreation, then that means that it is fakeable.
Answer. This one's in a IR, in a false color IR. This one's in a thermal.
He keeps saying false color IR. Like, false color IR would be that they recorded the thing and then recolored the entire thing. It doesn't mean that they would show up as different signatures. What he's basically saying is this was recorded on IR and then painted. This video on the left and this video on the right cannot both be real. Because, first of all, if this video on the right is false color, it's already been edited. This video on the left is thermal. It's just, he's already saying that the videos have been altered from the start.
Device register something as white hot like this, and then have another thermal imaging device in the same vicinity registering it as, and yeah.
Also, for the record, Ashton has changed his story on this over and over again. At no point has he said, you know what, I was wrong about that. It's just, when somebody says something, he's like, oh, well, actually, it's this.
Let me know what your thoughts.
We do updates. And if you think we missed anything in this video or we got something wrong, we are always
It's not really
open to
worth
being
posting.
corrected. Like I said, at basically every juncture, if you have evidence to the contrary of what we currently believe, our goal is not to tell you that you're wrong. It is to provide the most complete story given the evidence available. And
So did I address all the points there for everybody?
He actually didn't address a single one of them. Like, oh boy. And the funny part right here, if you listen to what I'm saying in the video, and listen to, he said we're not thinking for ourselves, we're not critical thinking, we're not willing to believe things.
do updates. And if you think we missed anything in this video or we got something wrong, we are always
It's not really
open to
worth
being
posting.
corrected.
As he's kind of being like, it's not really worth it, we're sitting here going, yeah, and if you have evidence that we got something wrong, please tell us and we'll reinvestigate.
Like I said, at basically every juncture, if you have evidence to the contrary of what we currently believe, our goal is not to tell you that you're wrong. It is to provide the most complete story given the evidence available. And
So did I address
Like,
all the points there for everybody? So it's going to look pretty awkward for some of these guys when these videos get authenticated, because people literally can't tell real things from fake things.
I just astonishing. No, I'm not going to do another video in response. We made our point. I think Aiden did a very good job of making the point, and to be honest, the thermal imaging part is secondary to the really important aspect, which is that Aiden showed beyond a reasonable doubt to anybody who is a rational thinking person that is the same asset. It's not up for debate. Yeah, it is kind of funny that it was sped up, because I really do talk in 1.25 times speed. Also, I will point out, if you look at this, $145,000 bounty for finding the hoaxer and bringing the source files. Initially, what they said was $145,000 if you can recreate the video. Whole bunch of people recreated the video, or at least showed it could be faked, so they changed it to you now have to find the person who did the hoax and bring the source files. Skip ahead to the beginning of this one. I really don't understand what the Lex Friedman thing he's doing is.
We're streaming here. Hey, everybody. Good night, everybody.
I really hope Joe Rogan does not have him on. I really hope he doesn't. Or at least I hope he doesn't have him on without any sort of physicist or VFX guy right there.
Good day. Sorry, just a little
Yeah, this is the point where he went subs only.
evening troll to start it off. Lex, if you're out there, buddy, hit me up. Hit me up. Yeah, I was jumping on to start my stream up, and I see that there's a whole stream about me out there.
All right. So, whole stream about me out there. Actually, here, let me grab this guy. So we go to the Lore Lodge. Do you see anything mentioning Ashton Forbes? Anything mentioning Ashton Forbes? He's not listed in the description. He's not listed in the thumbnail. He's not listed in the title. He's not shown in the title.
And I see that there's a whole stream about me out there. And I see that there's a whole stream about me out there with some dudes that are out there that had me on, and I go in there and everybody's talking smack about me. I'm like, oh wow.
Nobody was talking smack. We were actually just talking about the video. We were just doing our jobs, you know, the thing we do in and out every week consistently.
I'm like, okay.
So the wrong title card, we fixed that immediately. That was fixed within minutes of the stream going live. He started this stream towards the end of our stream.
So I jump in there and it's these kids who are like sitting there trying to talk smack about me. It's like,
and now we're kids. When we were having him on, when we were having Ashton on, oh, we were legit. We're the Lore Lodge. We're a big YouTube channel. We debunk conspiracies all the time. And yet we're listening to him. That's a big thing for him. But no. The second we disagree with him, oh, they're just a couple of kids.
wow, man. Guys, get a life. Seriously, get a life.
Get a life, he says, as we're doing the show we do every weekend.
If you were not old enough to barely even remember when this incident happened, then please don't try to hate on me.
I was 16.
We broke down their really poor attempts at debunking our case. Yeah.
In fact, this all happened basically the weekend Aiden and I met.
We broke down their really poor attempts at debunking our case.
No, you didn't, Ashton. Not even a little bit.
The other day. So I'm not going to sit here and try to farm engagement off of them because
Literally what you're doing.
I think we're a little bit above that. But
literally what you did the other night.
that's just my message to those guys because clearly they were watching the stream yesterday and they got upset.
We were not watching the stream. I was not even aware that he had a stream. Also, we do a stream that is related to the video we put out on Friday every Sunday. He knows that. So he's just sitting here lying about us. Also, I love this. You can't see it on your screens, but one guy popped in here and said they weren't talking smack about you. I was in there.
So, I mean, I can see through it, guys. You did a piss poor job trying to use the VFX debunk.
Nope, we actually did a very good job.
Didn't match. You were using Cindy's weird her weird pictures of the ocean, which don't even line up.
No, we weren't. We actually said we thought Cindy Hendry had told a little bit of a fib about where she found the debris, if it was debris at all.
To try to push your silly idea that the plane was shot down?
We actually didn't say that the plane was shot down either.
Like, come on, man. Be better than that, guys.
We are better than that.
Anyway. So, only one warning. If you talk smack in the chat, you get...
Somebody goes, how dare anybody disagree with your whack job conspiracy theory with no evidence, eh? This is one of my favorite parts. Ready?
So, only one warning. If you talk smack in the chat, you get blocked. You'll never talk in the chat again. So...
And remember, Ashton defines talking smack as questioning his conclusions.
Be good. Okay, we are going to go over some stuff, and we got some new evidence that we're going to be pushing out here tonight. I'm going to try to get some work done. I'll answer any questions in the chat as well. We're not really going to talk about the drama because it's not what we're here for.
We're not really going to talk about the drama that I opened the show talking about.
Yeah, this is going to be the MS Paint Masterclass here. I found actually a good thing that shows where the drones came from. So we're going to do some quick MS Paint skills.
MS Paint. Microsoft Paint. Microsoft Paint. When I do research, you know what I do? You know what I do? I go to Maps. And what I do, and you guys have seen me do this live. You guys have watched me do this. Is I pull up Google Maps, and let's see. So, if I were to do what he's currently doing, let's see what he's got. All right, that's kind of over this southern tip of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, so he's saying basically we're looking at right here, and I believe there is supposed to be an air base or something over here. Here, actually, no, let me. There we go. So I believe he's trying to say there is an air base here somewhere. Let me actually look this up. Is there an air base in the Nicobar? I'll be honest, I looked and I couldn't find one necessarily. All right. At least not an American one. So there is an Indian Air Force one, Car Nicobar Air Base. So let's look that up. Car Nicobar Air Force Base. Here it is. So let's point one thing out here. See this? See where that airport is? He has his dot in the wrong place. Unless there is an entirely separate Air Force base somewhere over here. I see an airport. But let's see. Yeah, so here we go. If you look over here, we have it right. We are in the right spot. It is this island right here, as you can see from right here. That island. This is the base. He has entirely the wrong location. What we have here is, boom, measure distance. Let me go find waypoint Mikar. Mikar waypoint. So we have that right there. That is the air base. Actually, you know what? Let's get it even closer, because I want to show you guys how I do this. Let's see. Say it took off. I don't know which side of the runway it would have come from, but we'll hit right here. We're then going to find Mikar waypoint, which is at this longitude and latitude. Plug it in here. Oh, whoops. Wait, what? Oh my God. Okay, so we're going to hit measure distance. We're going to go back to that island. It was this guy right here. We're going to click the IAF camp. 310 miles. It would have taken the MQ-1, the MQ-1C Predator that he's talking about, well over an hour, about an hour and a half to cover this distance. The time it took the aircraft to go from about right here to right here to right here was 60 minutes. It would have, if they put this Predator drone into the air the moment that Boeing 777 dropped off of radar, it would have been here before the Predator drone could catch up. An hour and a half, 60 minutes to get from here to here. It is impossible. Now, let's say that, in fact, it actually caught it a little bit further. The farthest that Predator drone could have gotten in that time is about this arc right here. That Predator drone cannot have been launched when they realized the plane had gone off radar. Because you know what? In fact, by the time they realized the plane was off radar, it had already been 20 minutes. Physically impossible. And that's if we're believing the Malaysian government narrative that the plane even did go over here. Which, again, is possible, but I'm also still skeptical about the debris that was allegedly sighted around right here by Cathay Pacific pilots and was reported by Cathay Pacific pilots. So, point is, he's wrong. He is absolutely wrong.
Bye, Luca. Go back to your buddy's stream.
I don't even know who Luca
This ain't the one.
is.
This ain't the one for childish drama.
This isn't the one for childish drama, as he's the only one doing
This
any
one's Kuala
childish
Lumpur. I
drama.
probably should have kept that up. Pretty sure this is Kuala Lumpur, right? And then this.
Yeah?
This one's Penang, or this
Nope,
one's Penang? This
that one's Penang. Good job, Ashton.
So the plane's gonna go up here. Doesn't have to be exact, but
He's not even close.
goes dark like right
All
here.
right. A little bit better. I mean, there are ways to look this up, and, I don't know, you could do this entire thing on Google Maps. He appears to be unaware of this whole function of measurement. Because what I did was I went on Google Maps, and I went, okay, there. All right, let's see. Kuala Lumpur is about right here. Waypoint Igari is right here, and then it went about like that. Actually, no. Waypoint Igari is probably closer to there. You can actually look all of this up, but allegedly the plane did basically this. And then would have gone out here. That is the line traced roughly on the official report. I don't know why he would do this in Microsoft Paint.
Yeah, that podcast is awesome, dude. They're super smart. I get a little bit worried, man. Like, the stuff we're talking about is the stuff that gets people disappeared, man.
If you're anywhere close to the truth, maybe.
Thank.
I'm telling you right now, the feds love this guy. You want to talk about people who are like, the CIA is happy they exist? They're sitting here cheering Ashton on. The reason Ashton is allowed to continue talking is because he's helping them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Four Orbs. That's my new name, Ashton Four Orbs. Okay, let's see here.
Pretty sure there were 3 orbs.
People are worried about VFX, and we're sitting here showing holes popping through clouds and explaining how quantum mechanics and quantum and macroscopic unification work.
He has no idea how any of the science words he just said actually work. He made that abundantly clear on our show, and we had several people who had college physics educations pointing out that he was wrong. Also, you should be worried about VFX, because if people can prove the video is fake, you've lost your entire argument, Also, the whole popping out of the clouds thing has me a little bit confused, because I've watched that video a whole bunch of times, and I do not see the hole in the clouds he is talking about.
It's pretty awesome. I think the plane is right over here somewhere. Okay.
He's actually gone pretty far beyond where Waypoint Mikar is, which is right here. He has this plane another 200 miles west of where it was when he claims all of this happened. This is why I say that we definitely did more work than Ashton. I know all of this off the top of my head.
Very sorry. Where's our cheese tactical
I took it off of him. It might be, I think it's behind one of the stools. Stools on the ground. Yes, sorry.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. Also, I'm going to unsubscribe from those guys as well.
Ready?
How can you trust the reviews you're reading? Introducing FakeSpot by Mozilla.
Okay, unsubscribed. There we go.
Literally putting his head in the sand, covering his ears, yelling la 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 la.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that crap on their podcasts. Like, if anyone comes out like that against me, like, you're never going to talk to me again. So I urge you, you can do whatever investigation you want to do. If you want to discredit yourself and talk about the plane getting shot down, going
Again, we never said the plane was shot down. We said it was possible the plane was shot down.
nuts, man. Go nuts.
Keep in mind, it is more ridiculous to believe that an unresponsive airliner was shot down by the Vietnamese Air Force and then covered up by two of the most powerful governments in the world working to prevent an international incident. That is more unlikely, in his opinion, than the US government, without motive, deploying wormhole technology to zap a plane somewhere. Keep in mind, he has never explained how it is that this remained a secret. He's never explained what happened to these people. He talks about, like, toroidal movement as if that has anything to do with the fact that this is ridiculous.
But, you know, don't try to discredit my case. If you try to, and you do so in a bad way, you know, you're just going to get blocked and removed from the community.
Don't try to discredit my case. If you do so, you're going to get blocked and removed from the community. Think about those words. If you dare to disagree with me, I will block you. Also, the person saying, don't get me wrong, I love the Lore Lodge, watch the videos all the time. I don't think Aiden looked at the evidence. We very clearly did. And I've been saying it all over the comments section. People keep coming into the comments section and saying, it went to Diego Garcia. It was, you know, zapped into a wormhole, blah, 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 blah. There were patent holders on there. And I say to each and every person who disagrees with the video the exact same thing that I say regardless of the topic. If you disagree, as I said in the video, if you disagree, if you think we missed something, give us some evidence. Not a single person arguing for Ashton's theory presented any evidence. They sure said a bunch of things, but nobody gave the title of a journal article. Nobody gave a news article. Nobody gave the patent information. And the funny part here is that we debunked, I think we argued that 3 separate narratives were extremely unlikely in our opinion. One was that Captain Shaw downed the plane on purpose as an act of political protest or because he was upset about his marriage. Another one was that it was downed by the government or diverted to Diego Garcia or something like that because of the patent technology that was on it. Also basically explained that, no, that also is very unlikely, if not impossible. And we also said it appears that these videos are fake. What's interesting is we only targeted the videos and the range and speed of the drone. We didn't talk about the physics. We did not talk about the physics. His entire thing debunking our explanation of the VFX angle was basically just saying, no, it's not, it doesn't match. On screen, it very obviously matches.
Especially if you just do so in a really lame way where it's just wrong.
Yeah, no, that's not how criticism works. That's not how debate works.
I think those guys were fine. They didn't do their homework, and that's usually people's problem, right? They don't do their homework.
We didn't do our homework. We only have, I think, 50 pages of notes on this subject. I only spent 2 weeks poring over news articles, reading SEC filings, reading patents, reading patent law, reading aircraft logs. I have done astronomically more work on this than Ashton has. Aiden spent 20 or 30 minutes on this and did astronomically more work than Ashton has. And I would love, it's very interesting. He knows he has the opportunity to say all of this to my face. He is well aware of that. And instead, he blocked me, he unsubscribed, and then when he thought he was safe, he went and he did this. Now, I could have done this reaction video on the Lore Lodge channel. Instead, I took the high road and did it on my personal channel, which is smaller than his. So that I'm technically punching up. But yeah, I mean, there's really not much more to say here. I also find it very interesting that at the beginning of the video, he was like, I'm not going to get into the drama. We are now 9 minutes in, and he's talked about nothing but us.
I'm not going to try to answer everybody's individual questions as well. Like, that's why.
Remember, where was it? Where was it? Hang on.
Debunking our case the other day. We're a little bit above that. Fire, and please talk smack about me. It's like, wow, man. Guys, get a life. Seriously, get a life. If you were not old enough to barely even remember when this incident happened, then please don't
give it a sec.
On me. We broke down their really poor attempts at debunking our case the other day. So I'm not going to sit here and try to farm engagement off of them, because I think we're a little bit above that. But that's just my message to those guys, because clearly they were watching the stream yesterday and they got upset.
We were not watching the stream. Also, I find it very funny that a guy with 128, with 12.8 thousand subscribers thinks that we're sitting around watching his content. I don't have time. I do not have time to watch YouTube.
So, I mean, I can see through it, guys. You did a piss poor job trying to use the VFX debunk. It didn't match. You were using Cindy's her weird pictures of the ocean, which don't even line up.
It did match. We did not say Cindy was right.
To try to push your silly idea that the plane was shot down.
Didn't say the plane was shot down.
Like, come on, man. Be better than that, guys. Anyway. So, only one warning. If you talk smack in the chat, you get blocked. You'll never talk in the chat again. So,
trying to see if I can find the part where he said he was going to try and get some work done. We are going to
go over some stuff, and we got some new evidence that we're going to be pushing out here tonight. I'm going to try to get some work done. I'll answer any questions in the chat as well.
Catch that?
Over some stuff, and we got some new evidence that we're going to be pushing out here tonight. I'm going to try to get some work done. I'll answer any questions in the chat as well.
Interesting. You'll answer any questions in the chat as well.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to answer everybody's individual questions as well. Like, that's why I do my group spaces and stuff like that. So.
Oh, interesting. Fascinating, Ashton. Like, it's beyond parody, man. Like, literally, this is so funny to me.
I'll answer any questions in the chat as well. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to answer everybody's individual questions as well. Like,
it's just so funny. It's just so funny, man.
That's why I do my...
You know, let's skip ahead and see if he's still talking about us.
I think we're going to unblock this guy, too.
He's going through blocking and unblocking people.
Blocked by how do we figure out who to unblock now, though? Damn. Is there another way to figure out who to unblock? Wow. How do you block Red Panda Koala? Red Panda Koala is like the easiest guy ever. We're definitely not unblocking Klaus. He's got me blocked. He's had me blocked so he can talk smack about me without me seeing. So, anyone else?
I don't think I need to say anything more, you know? I think my point has been made. Gonna take a look at a couple of these super chats. Party like 1776 said, I'd say he was about as accurate as Graham Hancock, but at least Graham does some research beforehand, or at least tries to. Yeah. Also, thing about Graham Hancock, back in the 90s, he said that he basically went along with crustal displacement. He was alleging that the way that these ancient societies were destroyed was Chan Thomas or Charles Hapgood's crustal displacement theory. The thing is, crustal displacement was pretty roundly debunked. And there was also evidence presented in 2007 that the Younger Dryas was caused by a comet impact. Graham Hancock changed his hypothesis. When he was presented with irrefutable evidence that he was wrong, he changed his hypothesis. He worked it in. He found a way to say, all right, well, this definitely proves that I was wrong about one aspect, but not necessarily the others. So I would argue Graham is actually a much better researcher and influencer than this guy. Mandalorian Mama said, okay, Aiden, we have a theory that Ashton is AUDHD. I assume you mean autistic and ADHD. I assume that's what that means. I would not be surprised if he was on the spectrum, and that's not an insult. I am probably on the spectrum as well. Aiden probably is. I mean, the definition of what constitutes autism has been changing quite a bit over the years. So, I mean, my family has a wide range of autism spectrum disorder severity. My little brother is he's not nonverbal, but he's definitely not very social. Sweetest kid you'll ever meet, but just not very social. Likes to stick to his few specific chosen foods, likes to stick to his specific few chosen video games. Like, he's what you would expect of somebody on the spectrum. And then, my dad and I are a little bit more on the ADD side. Both have some hyperfixation stuff. I do struggle with criticism. I've had to work on getting better at accepting criticism for years. I also used to have pretty bad anger issues, and I think it's very obvious that now I don't get irritated nearly as easily. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm sitting here. I'm curious. Show me the transcript. Control F. Let's say. Oh, interesting. It shows up again here.
The Lore Lodge actually posted this picture. This is not how it works, man.
He still hasn't watched the video.
This is not how it works. You can't just superimpose a picture over some whitecaps and say that we're looking at debris. Like, I don't feel like I should even have to address this. It's so silly. I also want to point out, this is the South Indian Ocean here. We're clearly looking at whitecaps in the water or some other natural effect here that's not debris. The size and scale does not match. You would also not just be able to see like M's like this, like she's trying to do here. They also looked with 42 planes and 39 boats and didn't find any debris.
Or, Ashton, since you're clearly able to comprehend that the government lies, they lied about not finding anything. It's not even Occam's razor at this point. It's like Occam's entire shaving kit. But yeah, that's it with this. I don't think I need to do anything further, like, somebody, like, we have people who are like, the Lore Lodge lost me here, and it's like, I don't think you were ever actually subscribed. Also, if our work on this is what turned you off, all right, fine, good riddance. See ya. Here, I'll make my point in a separate way. Because Ashton seems to think that he's in some way hurting. I can't find it, but anyway, I was gonna pull up the graph of our subscribers recently. This is the very funny part to me. Ashton's sitting here at 12.8. When we made the Tartaria video, we had the same number of subscribers as Mind Unveiled, about 212,000. They have 258 now. We have 340. Like, this is not me being like, whoever has the most subscribers is right. This is me being like, if you think you're hurting us, you're not. And you should stop acting like you are. We're not afraid of Ashton. Like, it's just all very silly. But here we go. Let's get into the stuff I actually wanted to do tonight, because I find this very funny. Yeah, that's the thing is like if Tartaria didn't take you out, then I'm not sure what was going to. I'm wondering if a bunch of these people who are saying that basically subscribed after the first MH370 video. Should we make an Occam's shaving kit shirt? Should I do that? Here. Let's see, create a design. We're gonna say hoodie. Shaving kit. Go. We're gonna grab for when just a razor ain't enough. Boom. Make you nice and thick. We need Occam himself. What are we gonna do here? All right. Let's grab this guy. We're gonna save him. It's a WebP. It's fine. It's not getting any sort of other effects on it. Let's grab this, move it over here. We're gonna take this background and we're gonna make it black. Gonna grab this guy and this guy. Layer, bring forward. We're gonna go to Occam's shaving kit. What is this one? 42. So we want 42.7. Here, we're gonna expand this guy a little bit. We're gonna cut this side down a bit. We're gonna do that. Pop this guy right here. See if I can get a better let's see. Let's grab a an image of a shaving kit. I think it'll be even funnier with modern stuff. I'm just gonna need to blur out the Gillette. So let's grab that. Let's go over here. Grab this guy. We're gonna go to edit photo, background remover. We're gonna go a little like that, delete you. Bring you over here. It's a little hard to see is the only thing. So let's background remove this as well. Okay. Can we grab maybe a better color scheme? This looks like it'll probably be a little easier to see. Go. Bring it over here. Can we... we might not... it's a web piece, so we can't. Hang on. Here we go. Perfect. That's a WebP again. I swear to God. I swear to God. I swear to God, guys. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Snipping tool. You guys are getting a phenomenal gaze into how my brain works. All right, and we're going to hit save. We're just going to say downloads, and we're going to call this shaving kit. Hit save. It's in downloads now. Does that stay up here? No, it does not. So, upload files, shaving kit, boom. Edit photo, background remover. Beautiful. Beautiful. I am so happy with this. Hang on. So we're going to hit download, transparent background, full size. Going to go to, is the lorelodge.shop actually up? No, not lorelodge.com. Come on. Lodge.shop. Ah. I'm going to be really... They still haven't fixed it. Oh my god. Really incredible. Go get into here. I'm not sure why our website's not working for this. Oh. Because Spring completely screwed up. Anyway, so what if we click this? Yeah, I'll figure it out. View store. Wow, they really screwed this up. I hate Spring. I hate Spring so much. I'll fix this later, but we're gonna go to create product. We're gonna go to, oh, I could have created my own desk mat, man. We'll do premium pullover hoodie. We're gonna add in an image. When a razor's ain't enough. Then we're gonna go to a black one. Beautiful, guys. Beautiful. I love it. Continue. We'll start there. We will start there. For when you really gotta hammer it into them. Super chats? Okay, give me 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. When a razor won't cut it. Oh, that's so much better. For when a razor just won't cut it. Oh, brilliant. So much better. Beautiful. There we go. I'll make some adjustments. I'll fix it up later. I'll get the site back online. We will fix it. I will fix it. I gotta fix the website anyway. I don't know why it's not working. But, here, let's edit listing. I want to edit the design. That's the problem. I can't remember how to do it. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'll get it all put together. But yeah, we'll make it work. But yeah, all right. Disturbing videos I found on the internet. Here is the Lazy Masquerade video we were gonna do. I will get that up and running so that it's easy to buy and all of that, and I will send the listing in Discord. But all right, let's get switched over to the React side. And I personally, I love Lazy. I think Lazy Masquerade is one of the best narration channels on YouTube. I am a big fan. As far as YouTubers that I actually still watch, he's one of them. Partially because I like that I can often find cases to research through him. And of course, I got to go back and finish shooting the Luke Homan video, which I feel like I'm just not doing a good job of. But yeah, once I have it fixed up, I will get it uploaded. Oh, wait, Amanda, come here. I want to show you this. So, what do you think?
That's funny.
So we're talking about how Ashton just does not get Occam's razor at all.
Yeah,
Occam's shaving kit.
that's good.
Yeah, I think it is good, right?
That's good.
Want one?
Not really.
Wow.
I feel like I'd like slice my leg off. If
No, not the shaving kit, the hoodie.
Oh, that's a hoodie?
It's gonna be a hoodie.
Oh, that's kind of funny then.
What did you think it was?
I don't know. I think it's funny. I thought you just found that. I just really made
No,
it.
I made this.
That's good.
I put that together. Yeah, I'll get you one. I'll get you one. Even if you don't want it, I'll get you one.
That's how it usually goes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You wear most of my hoodies anyway.
Exactly.
You really like the Only Phantoms one.
Solid one.
Solid hoodie. For some
I
reason,
didn't
the
put redacted
website's not
there.
working. Actually, you know what I can do is I can probably...
Yes, the Fed is here.
I can
Secure
probably
chat.
set it up to
I
be
am.
shop.thelorelodge.com.
Probably.
Yeah, I'll do a subdomain. Make it nice and easy. Yeah, that's right, everybody. I have experience in web design. Are you okay? You seem like out of it.
I'm just tired.
That's fair.
And
I am
also
too. It's
it's-
mostly the espresso running in my
I
head
also
right now.
took my meds today.
Oh boy.
Poor girl. is
Albuquerque's
so
West
lost. Yeah, I
Mesa,
kind of was, not
a
gonna
vast
lie.
and desolate expanse of land located within the
Did I
city.
see yours, Pumpkin Bear? I see when a razor just won't cut it. I see that one. I do not see another one from you. I do not see a super chat from you, Pumpkin Bear. Hang on. Let me see if I can find it. Would you guys relax? This is not the time. This is not the time. Click on this guy. Customization. No, not what I wanted. Okay, here we go. I need to go create, go live. I need to click on this and viewer activity. I have you do not put words in our mouth from Kellen. And oh, can we get a GeoGuessr stream? We can, but I'm just not gonna be good at it. Like I am not good at GeoGuessr. But we can absolutely do one, yeah. Archie, come here. Archie, come here. Hey, here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Up. Come get uppies. Come say hi to the people. What a good boy. Just such a good boy.
Limits. Arid.
Aiden, with old Twitch streams getting edited and posted, where's the green hell one where you expressly told me not to eat human meat? So the problem is that video is actually really old. Like the edit itself is a year old. I don't have access to any of my old Twitch streams anymore. But we will have a bunch of new stuff coming. If you guys want to help us, make those videos and help grow the channel, please go through our Lethal Company streams, our Call of Duty streams, anything. If you rewatch, go ahead and clip stuff. That is the best way to help us out with growth. It makes it a lot easier for PJ to choose what clips go where. That would be a huge help to us. So if you do want to see more of those videos coming out, the more clips we have, the more videos we can make, because PJ can actually just go in and grab them. Right now, the way it is, PJ has a full-time day job. He's getting a percentage of profits from this channel to do edits. So that's how the current system works. But if you guys want to get more, then go ahead and help out. And Awu, I don't think he's up for the Awu right now. Maybe. Archie. I don't think they can hear it. They can't hear it. Hang on. Archie, can we get an Awu? Good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy. All right, there we go. I just have to turn the noise suppression off whenever I do that for him. He's such a good puppy, dude. All right, let's get this done.
Barren.
We are also going to do a playthrough of Green Hell again.
The perfect place to hide one's
Twitch is definitely better for clipping, I will agree.
darkest secrets. Prior to 2006, the Arroyo
Historical monuments mode on GeoGuessr? Now that I might be able to pull off.
Bank of West Mesa was largely uninhabited. That is, until urban development reached the area, and the site was disturbed, buried, and platted for residential construction. On the 2nd of February 2009, a woman walking her dog stumbled upon a bone which had risen to the surface during the area's development. One that looked decidedly human. She notified the authorities, and soon 11 sets of human female remains were
Oh.
unearthed in a small area,
Oh.
bringing the
Oh, hi, buddy.
existence of a formerly unknown serial slayer to the world's attention.
Terrifying.
Whom the media dubbed the West Mesa Bone Collector. Thanks to the wonders of DNA analysis, the 11 bodies were soon linked to 11 missing person cases. Those of young women aged between 15 and 32, who were mostly of Hispanic descent. Jamie Barella, Monica Candelaria, Victoria Chavez, Virginia Cloven, Selania Edwards, Cinnamon Elks, Doreen Marquez, Julie Nieto, Veronica Romero, Evelyn Salazar, and Michelle Valdez.
Interesting. I wonder where some of these images came from, because they don't look
All
quite...
of them had disappeared at some point between
Alright, here we go.
2001 and 2005.
Trying to think, working on a profile for this, it's kind of throws me for a loop that there's a black girl in there. Because it breaks... Everybody else appears to be a brunette Hispanic woman, except Selania Edwards, which makes me wonder if that was the serial killer got caught.
And most were working as escorts at the time they vanished. One of them, Michelle Valdez, was even pregnant at the time of her demise. Satellite images captured...
Also, let's see. Hey, Aiden, would you and Thornbury cover the disappearance of Gretchen Fleming? Case much like Gabby Petito. We can definitely look into it. We're currently working through a bunch of smiley face killers cases. We'll probably include a few others as well in the course of the next year. But yeah, names are always good. I can definitely take a look into that one.
Between 2003 and 2005, revealed tire tracks and disturbed soil patches in the vicinity where the remains were later discovered, suggesting that all of the women had been slain at a different location and then driven out to the dumping site.
I mean, that would make sense. It would be very
But
odd if
although
they
all
were
of the
killed there.
victims' names have since been revealed, the identity of their killer remains unknown to this day. Who was the West Mesa Bone Collector? And why did his rampage seemingly come to an abrupt end? Though no suspects have ever been officially named in connection with the slayings, one man in particular has always been a person of interest. Lorenzo Montoya, a 39-year-old printing company employee. Not only did Montoya live less than 3 miles from the burial site, but he also had a history of violence against women, and his co-workers divulged that he had privately confessed to them about the killings.
Interesting. Yes?
Can I run the disposal for 2 seconds?
Yeah, probably. There we go. No, good. Echo Warrior. Thank you. You're starting a podcast of your own next week. Any tips or advice? You've got 1,000 followers for TikTok, but haven't done anything else as far as content creation yet. Let's see. I think my first bit of advice would be do not worry too much about the audio and video quality from the beginning, but do invest in a decent quality microphone. A Yeti, the standard Yeti is about $100. It is worth buying because it will make the audio considerably better. The other one would be consistency. It doesn't matter if you're releasing one episode a month, one episode every 2 weeks, one episode a week. Just make sure you stay on a schedule. If your audience can expect that you're going to have a video out or a podcast out, an audio out, whatever way you're doing it, if they can expect that to come out the same time every week, you are much more likely to retain viewers and listeners. Yeah, and that's basically what I would say is those are the two big things. Make sure that your quality does not immediately drive people away, but don't be worried about sounding professional at the beginning. And don't stress. Don't worry about, being perfect at first. You're going to make mistakes. Don't let it discourage you. Don't let lower viewership discourage you. We started off getting probably 80 some viewers an episode, and then it dipped to 30. We didn't stop. We just kept going. And now I'm sitting here doing my personal channel show on a random, Tuesday night, and I've got 147 people watching. So just keep at it. Keep consistent. And do not worry about the little dips. Only start to worry about dips when they become consistent. Keep in mind, some topics just aren't going to land. I think the biggest thing with getting a podcast started is, first of all, finding a topic people are actually going to care about. Otherwise, you're never going to get anywhere. But aside from that, consistency, and make sure that there is a baseline audio quality without worrying about getting that pure professional sound. Because we didn't. Now, if you have the money to spend up front, absolutely do it. If you don't worry about being perfect from the beginning.
Perhaps most damningly of all, dirt tracks were later found leading from his home to the dumping site. In December 2006, Montoya contacted 19-year-old Sherika Hill through an online chat room and offered her money to come and perform a dance at his mobile home located at 4000 Blake Road Southwest. The pair negotiated a price, and Sherika arrived at Montoya's trailer in the early hours of the morning. To come and perform a dance at his mobile home located at 4000 Blake Road Southwest.
Alright.
The pair negotiated a price, and Sherika arrived at Montoya's trailer in the early hours of the morning.
That doesn't exactly sound like performing a dance.
It's unknown what exactly transpired inside the trailer.
I have a good idea.
But less than an hour after she had arrived, Montoya had strangled Sherika to death and had wrapped her remains up using duct tape. Little did he realize that Sherika's boyfriend, Frederick Williams, was waiting outside the trailer for his girlfriend to finish her dance.
Alright.
He was watching as Montoya dragged her duct tape body out towards his truck. In a fit of rage, Frederick shot and killed Montoya then and there.
Good.
Following this, the West Mesa slayings came to an end.
I mean, that seems like a pretty cut and dry, but could be somebody going, whew, that's a good way for me to get away with this.
Frederick Williams didn't face any charges.
As he shouldn't.
The authorities remain convinced that this wasn't Montoya's first rodeo. In the words of Police Chief Ray Schultz, there's a good probability that this wasn't the first time Montoya had done something like this. It was very well planned and orchestrated, and that's what's worrisome about this. While sifting through Lorenzo Montoya's home for evidence, detectives stumbled upon what could very well be a crucial lead. An eerie home recording found on Montoya's camera. Montoya's camera stumbled upon what could very well be a crucial lead. An eerie home recording found on Montoya's camera.
Sounds like duct tape. This almost seems like an accidental recording.
The camera's set up facing the wall, leaving what happens off screen to our imaginations.
Now, I will say this specifically makes me a little bit suspicious, but...
The audio, too, is sparse. There's no TV on in the background. No radio. The whole scene is deathly quiet. Except, that is, for what sounds like duct tape being pulled off a roll, and a garbage bag being opened. Many people are confident that Montoya was recording this moment for his own sick amusement. A memento he could return to and enjoy again and again.
I wonder...
The moment he was disposing of a body. He was careful not to capture any of this grisly scene on film, so that he could always plausibly deny what was actually happening, just out of view.
True.
This short clip is all that's been released to the public. According to investigators, the complete video begins with Montoya having sex with an unidentified woman. The footage fades to black.
Okay, so that's why I was confused. I was like, it's weird that there's nothing else.
To this clip. Some people even say that if you listen closely, at around the 36-second mark, it sounds as if Montoya says, "Tranquilo." In English, calm down, or be quiet.
Well, I mean, if he's... That sounds like he's probably duct taping the bag closed.
It's unknown whether Montoya was saying this to his dog, or perhaps even to himself. Or indeed, if he even does say that word at all. It's quite hard to make out.
True.
Given that tranquilo is masculine in Spanish, though, he certainly wasn't speaking to Sherika, or any of the other women who met their fate in West Mesa. As far as I can tell, the police haven't revealed the timestamp on the video.
That seems a little odd. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yeah, I think this is where Lazy Bean from the UK gets him a little confused, because there's probably a lot of Spanish speakers in West Mesa.
So we can't be certain which of the women is being disposed of off camera, if indeed that is what's happening in this clip. It remains unconfirmed whether Lorenzo Montoya truly was the bone collector, the twisted sicko who claimed so many lives in West Mesa. But this dark piece of found footage certainly leaves us with a lot to think about. If it truly is what it sounds like though, then this is one of the very few recorded examples of a serial killer in action.
Yeah, I mean, based on what's there, it seems pretty likely that that is in fact what was going on. What do we got next?
Elisa Sherman was a 53-year-old devoted mother of four who worked as a fertility nurse in Cleveland, Ohio. Her best friend, Jan Lash, described her as a caretaker type, an amazing human being, the type of person who knew the neighborhood kids' favorite sweets and kept them in stock. By all accounts, she was an extremely kind and well-liked person. Which begs the question, who killed her? It's a question investigators have been trying to answer since her life was so cruelly snuffed out on March 24th.
I think I'm on 1.5. Maybe 1.25. I'm on 1.25, yeah, because he talks kind of slow.
2013, and a chilling piece of surveillance footage likely holds the answer. At the time of the incident, Elisa was in the process of splitting up with her husband, Sanford Sherman. Elisa and Sanford's turbulent relationship history included frequent fights, the shifting of money from joint to private bank accounts, and Sanford's submission to an affair. Elisa, who feared her husband, filed for divorce in 2011. Since she and her husband were still living in the same house, she put a deadbolt on her bedroom door for protection, and even sent herself an email in which she wrote, "I'm really afraid he's going to have me killed." She was extremely eager to see the back of Sanford and move on, to get past this dark chapter in her life. And shortly before the divorce hearing, on March 13th, Elisa texted her brother, "Trial's in 2 weeks. Hopefully there is life after death." That message would turn out to be eerily foreboding. At 2:55 p.m. on March 24th, Elisa sent her daughter, Jennifer, a text message saying she was visiting her divorce attorney, Gregory Moore, to finalize some paperwork. Concerns arose when Elisa failed to return home by 7:45 p.m., prompting worry from her children. She had assured them that she'd be home in time for dinner.
Why was that bike entirely painted white?
Unable to get through.
Don't look at me like that. I'm making brownies.
You are making brownies, and I appreciate you for that. I'm interested with this one. Seems a little cut and dry so far.
To her mother on the phone, Jennifer began driving to Cleveland Heights in search of her. But she soon returned home when her brother, Jeremy, called her and told her something important. That the police were at their house and that they had some terrible news to share.
Oh boy.
Their mother, Elisa, had been murdered. A little over 2 hours prior, at approximately 5:20 p.m.
So, the reason I would imagine that you would decide to murder your soon-to-be ex-wife would be to avoid alimony payments. That's basically the only thing that comes to mind. I mean, if the divorce process is already going through, I just can't think of what other reason there would be to have somebody killed.
Somebody had viciously attacked her in broad daylight, close to her attorney's office, at 55 Erie View Plaza. A nearby worker heard close to hours prior, at approximately 5:20 p.m. Somebody had viciously attacked her in broad daylight, close to her attorney's office, at
Now that strikes me as odd.
55 Erie View Plaza. A nearby worker heard screams coming from the street and saw an individual stabbing Elisa in the face, ear. A nearby worker heard screams coming from the street and saw an individual stabbing Elisa in the face, ear, neck, and back. In total, she was punctured 11 times.
That is not the kind of way that you off somebody if you're trying not to arouse suspicion. It's definitely male. That's definitely a male way to kill somebody. But
Law enforcement was swiftly summoned to the scene, but by the time they arrived, the killer was long gone. These grainy images, captured mere moments after the incident, while Elisa lay dying in the street, show a hooded figure in jeans and a green jacket, limping away. It's believed that this was the perpetrator. In the aftermath, Elisa...
the fact that the person was dressed like that definitely suggests it was a hit. if this was a premeditated killing.
The soon-to-be ex-husband, Sanford, siphoned around $2 million from her account, leading their daughter, Jennifer, to file a civil suit against him. This was settled out of court. One of Sanford Sherman's friends, Larry Shanker, later testified that Sanford had asked him how someone might get away with murder. Thinking it was nothing more than a thought experiment, Shanker replied, "Don't use your car, or don't let your car be seen. Don't use a gun, because it could be heard. Don't use your street clothes. Use something that would cover up your entire body. Your face. Your hands." Yeah, for obvious reasons, Sanford's considered suspect number 1. Interestingly, suspect number 2 would be Elisa's own attorney, Gregory Moore, whom she was on her way to see on the day she died. In 2016, Moore faced charges related to tampering with evidence, obstructing official business, falsification, telecommunications fraud, and forgery. It was Moore who had arranged to meet with Elisa on the day her life was taken. But although Moore claims that he was...
What I would guess, based on that information, is that it was coordinated between Sanford and Moore. Between Sherman and Moore, I guess. If anything, based on what I'm hearing so far, that's where my mind goes.
was inside his office at the time of the incident, waiting for Elisa to arrive. Keycard data and witness statements suggest that he had left the building an hour prior. Elisa herself certainly didn't think much of her attorney, complaining to friends that he was often late to their meetings and unprepared. She desperately tried to find another lawyer, but, short on time and funds, was forced to stick with Moore. The third possibility is perhaps the most speculative, but take a look for yourself. Many people don't think that this person is Sanford Sherman or Gregory Moore. Based on their petite stature, they actually think it's a woman. As mentioned, from 2006 to
Women rarely commit violent acts of murder. And I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but what I mean by that is that typically when women are the killer, they do it via poison, occasionally smothering, hiring somebody else. You rarely see an instance of a woman repeatedly stabbing somebody in broad daylight.
2010, Elisa's husband had been having an affair with a woman in New York and Florida. Could this have been her, or perhaps another woman that he was involved with? If so, did Sanford have a hand in the planning?
Also, they're saying the petite stature, but I find it very difficult to judge how tall this person is. They could very well be a perfectly reasonable height for a man.
Sanford's motive and Moore's potential involvement, prompting speculation about the identity of the figure in the CCTV footage. Now, 10 years later, he, or perhaps even she, still hasn't been identified.
The limp seems like it would be a pretty solid piece of evidence. Like if Sanford and Sherman, or if Sherman and Moore didn't have limps. Of course, it could be a fake limp.
Now, 10 years later, he, or perhaps even she, still hasn't been identified, and the blade used to end Elisa's life has never been recovered. There's a reward of $100,000 for any information that leads to an arrest.
Maybe I'll take a look at this one. This is interesting.
To an arrest covered. There's a reward of
well, so here's the thing: when you watch somebody's gait,
about the identity of the figure in the CCTV footage of planning her, or perhaps another woman that he was involved with.
I'm trying to figure out where the left hand is.
Or did she act of her own volition? Theories abound regarding Sanford's motive and Moore's potential involvement, prompting.
The way that they're holding their left arm almost implies that their left arm is
the
injured.
Identity of the figure in the CCTV footage. Now,
in fact, their entire left side looks off.
Years later, he, or perhaps even she.
Yeah, but you can't really run with a stroke. Or commit a violent stabbing.
He still hasn't been identified, and the blade used to end elimination that leads. Before we move on, annoying problems. So does different color key further through this.
The heck is this? Oh.
Telto-chan, the twisted-necked woman whose crooked head has haunted many a person's dreams over the years. Perhaps you've seen this image before, though it first appeared online in early 2010.
Ah, that's a very unnatural angle.
Perhaps you've seen this image before. Though it first appeared online in early 2010, it was truly brought to the wider public's attention by a Japanese magazine called Dangerous Images for Your Brain. The article, which was titled "The Woman Looking at the Camera," explained that this was a screen grab taken from a 2009 episode of Ryo no Gokigenyo, captured after the camera panned to show the studio audience. Though the rest of the crowd seemed to be reacting normally when are focused on the stage, this one woman stands out. Her skin is deathly pale, her head is twisted at an unnatural angle, and she's staring right down the barrel of the lens with an almost menacing smile.
Yeah, how do you... You said Tiltu Chan was the... Tilted head lady from Japanese... Okay, here we go. Oh, that's creepy as all hell, man. Anybody have the story, maybe? No, don't show me notifications. I'm not sure what I'm about to see here, but... Oh. That's what I'm wondering is it... It could be fake. That's what I'm trying to figure out looking at it. Is, you know, here. Whoa. Yeah, it looks a little off, for sure. Whoa. Like, I would not be shocked if it were fake. I hate that one. Yeah, there we go. This is a photo of the audience on a Japanese psychic TV show. The woman's face is deathly pale and her head is twisted at an impossible angle. This woman is real, but someone photoshopped the picture to make her face seem more white and her neck seem more twisted than it is. But to be honest, the real one is not much better. Like, it definitely is a more reasonable head angle. But it is kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie. Still do not love it. They definitely photoshopped it. But not by all that much. It looks like they basically just made her face a little bit lighter and tilted it a little bit more. Does the angle of the hair even change? Not really. It's really just the face. The hair too. Yeah. Just do not like that.
After appearing in the publication, the image soon gained more notoriety online, particularly on 2channel.
Okay, he does...
Still creepy, but still not the unedited original. That would be this.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Rather than the fact that the woman's looking directly at the camera, there really isn't anything unnatural about her at all. The same woman was even spotted in a different episode of Gokigenyo, proving that she was just an ordinary audience member and not a paranormal entity. So if that's all there is to it, why did this image of all things get turned into a creepy internet artifact with its own lore and everything? Well, although many people claimed that the episode featuring this woman had been deleted from online archives, that too was nothing more than fiction. A clip of said episode, which aired on May 5th, 2009.
I will say, you guys would be utterly shocked, or maybe not, at just how many stories people believe that are complete BS. Like, the Freescale Semiconductor one has to be one of the most blatant that I've seen. We had like 80 different versions of it commented under the video. None of them were true. The patent holders weren't on the plane. But you had like people who were like, I heard a Rothschild was on the plane.
Has since been unearthed, and here it is for your viewing pleasure. As you can see, a lot less creepy than the story made out. In fact, not creepy at all. It appears the audience member was merely imitating the host, who mere moments prior had tilted his head as he made a joke. In all likelihood, a 2channel user saw the woman's noteworthy imitation and decided to create this cursed image. Knowing Japan's love of kawaii kusasete, otherwise known as the Let Me Be Cute challenge. That first edit was probably expanded upon by another user, and was turned into this creepier version, made famous by the schlocky article. An article which was, of course, published by Core magazine, whom I've talked about in the past. Let's just say they're not exactly known for their journalistic integrity, and I've no doubt they simply ripped this image.
Snag this one.
The year was 2016, and Viola Beach was an up-and-coming indie pop rock band on the verge of a mainstream breakthrough.
What year?
The year was 2016, and Viola Beach was an up-and-coming indie pop rock band on the verge of a mainstream breakthrough. Formed in Warrington, England, the group consisted of vocalist and rhythm guitarist Chris Leonard, lead guitarist River Reeves, drummer Jack Deacon, and bass player Thomas Lowe. Their sound was very in vogue for the time, and they were beginning to make a name for themselves, with plans for an international tour and a coveted slot at Glastonbury, one of the world's biggest music festivals. Certainly the biggest in the UK. But before any of that, the band was scheduled to play at the Where's the Music Festival in Norrköping, Sweden. Their slot ended at around midnight on February 12th, at which point the band went backstage and relaxed for a short while. It was then that somebody snapped this photo of all 4 members. This should have just been another of the many pictures of the group living their dream. Instead, it would be the last image of all 4 members living at all, one taken less than 2 hours before the unthinkable. After performing at the festival, the group began driving back to their hotel in Stockholm in the early morning hours. Craig Tarry, the band's 32-year-old manager, was behind the wheel of their rented Nissan Qashqai. At 2:01 AM, their car was caught on CCTV approaching traffic on the motorway. A row of cars ahead of them had stopped as the upcoming bridge was being raised to accommodate a shipping vessel. This was made obvious by a set of blinking yellow lights and 2 closed safety barriers. The surveillance footage shows the group's car slowing down slightly before accelerating down a narrow hard shoulder towards the bridge. But rather than come to a stop like all of the other cars and wait for the bridge to be lowered back down again, Craig accelerated, hitting the 2 barriers in the process and driving the car through a gap under the bridge, with the top section of the vehicle smashing into the part-raised structure at 56 miles an hour. The Nissan Qashqai somersaulted 80 feet into the shipping canal. Chris, River, Jack, and their driver Craig all perished on impact, while Thomas drowned in the cold water below. Craig's toxicology report came back clean, and he should have been completely fit to drive. The car itself had no mechanical issues. The road was wet, but not covered in ice. The exact circumstances that led to the crash remain shrouded in uncertainty, though the unusual engineering of the bridge may have had something to do with it. When most people think of a bridge being raised, they imagine a tilt bridge, one that tilts upwards from both sides to create a space in the middle. But this particular bridge didn't tilt. It raised. Some suspect that Craig had fallen asleep at the wheel, but that doesn't fit into the investigation's findings.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, because it seems like, based on what they said, that he stopped and then accelerated. You probably can't drive around everything.
If there was maneuvering to get around the stationary vehicles, Craig must have been awake when he accelerated towards the bridge. An inquest also found that Craig would have had enough time to stop the vehicle after hitting the first safety barrier. That is, unless he woke up seconds before the crash, saw the blinking lights as the bridge was rising, and, confused and running on instinct, sped up in an attempt to jump what he thought was a tilt bridge. One of the investigators working the case, Lars Berglund, has his own thoughts about what happened. My theory is that Craig was inattentive for some reason, perhaps talking on a mobile phone or turning round to the others in the car, and he didn't see the barrier in time. He might have been knocked out after hitting the first barrier with his foot on the accelerator.
I mean, based on that CCTV footage, though...
Perhaps
So here, let me slow it down to be the actual speed of the video.
talking on a mobile phone or turning round to the others in the car.
He
and didn't
turns
see the
long
barrier in
before
time.
it, he hits the brakes. He wasn't asleep.
He might have been knocked out. The others in the car.
He
And he didn't
also, you can clearly tell that
see
there
the
are
barrier
blinking
in time.
lights. He must have seen the barrier. He
He
even
might have been
slows
knocked out
down.
after hitting the first barrier with his foot on the barrier in time. He's talking on a mobile. My theory is that Craig was inattentive for some reason. Perhaps talking on a mobile phone or turning round to the others in.
Now, what interests me is the car behind them. Watch the car behind him. They switch lanes. These guys turn on their blinker and switch lanes. And then they slow down a lot. They slow down long before. they get to the bridge. That... Here's what I want to see. Because it looks like something turns on right there. But I can't tell if that's just artifacting from the video. That looks like brake lights, maybe? That looks like brake lights or even a siren. It wasn't stuck on the accelerator because it slowed down. So I'm wondering if the car behind them was following them? That's the only thing I can think of that makes sense.
First barrier, with his foot on the accelerator. Still, that's completely speculative, and despite reconstructions of the event and countless hours of detective work, the authorities still can't say with certainty what led to Craig accelerating to his and his friend's doom.
What I'm seeing here really makes me think that they were being chased for some reason or another. Also, Kellen said, sometimes the intrusive thoughts win. Oh no.
Viola Beach's self-titled debut album was released posthumously in July 2016.
To be fair, Novsev, the police get so many things wrong so consistently. Alright, let's get through
A chilling incident
this
occurred in the
last
Philippines
one.
this month. 57-year-old Juan Humalon, or DJ Johnny Walker as he was known professionally, was a provincial news broadcaster who worked for 94.7 Gold Mega Calendar FM. On the morning of November 5th, 2023, the radio anchor was broadcasting on the station's Facebook page, streaming live from his home-based studio on the southern island of Mindanao. Juan's breakfast show had a small but dedicated following, and several thousand people were tuned in as he discussed current events and played some of his favourite tracks. As can be seen in this recording of the broadcast, at approximately 5:22 AM local time, right in the
The band's name was Viola Beach. Now, let's see what the Wikipedia page says. Verge of a road traffic collision. Okay. Band's car arrived in the left lane, braked, and then swerved left, narrowly passing the first car before continuing. Driver in the front stationary car estimated the speeds of the van's vehicle at 37 miles per hour. Both sets of barriers without braking. Subsequently stuck in the middle section of the bridge, had been lifted 1.5 meters and fell 30 meters into the canal. The police concluded that Terry acted intentionally. Yeah. Interesting. I'm thinking they were being chased.
middle of Juan's breakfast show, an unidentified man entered his recording booth. The DJ paused and looked up, prompting the intruder to shoot him twice at point-blank range, hitting his lower lip and the back portion of his head.
Jeez.
Juan slumped backwards into his chair as a radio jingle played. According to Cebu Daily News, the killer and an accomplice had asked a station worker for permission to enter the studio in order to make an important announcement about some lost belongings. When told they couldn't enter, one perp held the worker at gunpoint, while the other went to take the DJ's life. CCTV cameras caught footage of the two men fleeing the scene. A third man was reportedly acting as a lookout. After hearing the two blasts ring out, Juan's wife, Jerabel, rushed into the studio and found her husband barely clinging to life. She rushed him to a local hospital, where he was pronounced DOA. Despite Juan's demise being caught live on camera, his brazen killer's face wasn't in frame. An EFIT was released based on physical descriptions made by witnesses. According to some sources, one of the suspects has been apprehended, though his name hasn't been revealed, and no further details have been released, so it's unclear whether it was this man or one of his two accomplices. It's worth noting that this man, who had so coldly taken Juan's life, had also taken Juan's gold necklace before fleeing the scene. Even so, many suspect that robbery wasn't his motivation.
Sounds like a trophy or maybe proof that he had killed the guy.
You see, journalists in the Philippines often face threats from politicians and their supporters, and those who refuse to stay silent voluntarily are sometimes silenced forcibly. Such occurrences aren't uncommon in the Philippines, a country which has long been considered one of the most dangerous places in the world for journalists. It's worth noting that according to the Global Impunity Index, the Philippines is the 8th worst country in the world at prosecuting the killers of journalists. Juan Humalon is now the 199th reporter to be slain in the nation since it returned to being a democracy in 1986.
Wow!
And at this point, it feels like only a matter of time before that number rises.
199? Always weird that sometimes it randomly changes to light mode. What if I search Obama? See, like, what the hell? Why is it in light mode? There we go. All right, so that's like 20 times the number of journalists that Obama imprisoned.
To 200.
All right. We cannot do one more to even it out because it is 9 o'clock, and I actually do have to go finish shooting a video. Kill me. Kill me now. But, yes, thank you guys for hanging out. This was a fun one. I'm liking these Tuesday streams. Again, if you want to help the channel grow, the best way you can do that is to clip videos when you think that something worthy of being shared has been said, or something happened in a video game, something like that. One of the ones that we would really love some help with, just to tell you, is this Lethal Company stream right here. So it'll come up.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on.
And stop turning off the lights and moving furniture around, Jesus. I do know that it does not look great. The bit rate was very low. I eventually did fix it. That's why these videos are in the proper definition, but...
How do I drop it?
G.
Thank you.
like, we could use some help with these guys.
Send me in and then get ready.
Alright, we're sending you in.
Oh, wait, 3 seconds. No, not that one. Which one is which? Yellow is send now, red to bring back. I'm coming with.
Alright, there's actually a lot of stuff in there for him to get.
I'm on
Right.
terminal.
Who has radios?
I have nothing.
You and everyone
I
else.
call it a
going.
drop ship. It has 3 more radios and 3 more pro flashlights.
Woo, thank God. So yeah, we've got some stuff coming, but we could use some help with these. They'll all be in actual 1080 from now on because I have the bitrate corrected. But yeah, so in fact, I think if you go to the one that immediately followed that, if I go to the lives, here's, I think, after I fixed the bitrate. Yeah, so here's after I fixed the bitrate. Ah! You zapped me!
It doesn't walk onto the goo. It's right there. Oh, why'd you open that? Who opened that door?
But Kellen, does it look like?
You're letting the slime out. You know they locked the door.
Kellen, did it look like 1440 or did it look like... I think this might be the same evening that we had, that I got killed by the spider. But yeah, so that's this. Yeah, if you guys want to help out, obviously don't feel like you have to. But if you ever want to help out with us doing content, go ahead, comment on these, help us clip them, all that, and that'll help us to grow the channel. Then we can do more stuff. So, again, thank you guys for hanging out, and I will see you guys on Thursday for either a single-player stream or another Lethal Company stream. I'm not sure which it'll be yet, but it may be Warzone, because that's coming out. So, we'll see. But, all right, see you guys.